Do you always fear the worst thing that can happen? Well, you're not alone. We're going to talk all about it. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a child therapist and I make videos for kids with anxiety or OCD. Today I want to talk to you about your brain because sometimes it is working against us even though it's trying to work for us. Do you always think about the worst thing that can happen? Are people like, oh my gosh, your birthday's coming soon? And your brain goes, yeah, I hope some people come. What if nobody shows up to your party? Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. We're going to have this get together. Yeah, I hope that nothing bad happens before we get there. Oh, it's time to go to bed. I hope nothing bad happens to me. It's time to go to school. I hope I don't get sick. It's time to go on a hike. I hope there are no snakes there. It's time to go swimming. Are we going to go in the ocean? I hope there's no sharks in there. We're going to go swimming in a pool. Oh, I hope there's going to be a lifeguard in case I, drown. Is that you? That's a lot of us. We are always presented with all the worst possible things that can ever happen in any situation, even the good stuff when we're looking forward to going on a trip, or we're looking forward to hanging out with friends, or we're looking forward to something that's supposed to be a good moment. Our brain will sometimes point out, but what if? But watch out. Be careful. What if this happens? And that's not helpful. Now, a few weeks ago, I did do a video on the worst case scenario and accepting sometimes the worst case scenario. And that is a bit different. So if you're already worried about something, let's say you're worried about going to school and that people are going to laugh at your new haircut. Sometimes it's good to accept the worst case scenario and say, well, what if people did laugh at my haircut? If people who laugh at my haircut, well, they're probably not my real friends because my real friends wouldn't laugh at me. And if they are my friends, should they be my friends if they're going to laugh at my new haircut? So I can accept that if people laugh at me, I can handle it because my real friends, my true friends, shouldn't laugh. That's different. That's accepting the worst case scenario when you're already worried. What I'm talking about today in this video is when we're not worried until our lifeguard in our mind knocks on our door. Hey, have you thought about the fact that maybe, nobody's going to show up? Or, hey, have you thought about the fact that, you're going on a hike and maybe, you might find a snake? Can you tell that I live in Arizona? So when we are just going about our business, minding our own business, and then our anxiety pops up and reminds us that there's something horrible that we should probably worry about, that's not helpful. And that's what I'm talking about today. So what do you do when that happens? I have had anxiety since I probably was born, and I've worked so hard at squashing my anxiety and keeping it really tiny. And when it does show up, I give it no attention because I don't listen to my anxiety. I only listen to myself. And so the more it tells me to avoid, the more I do, even though it's uncomfortable. And eventually, it doesn't cause anxiety anymore because I lean into it instead of away from it. That's a process, and it's a process I'm trying to teach you so that you don't have to wait until you're in your 40s to do it. But this thinking, this worst case, the worst thing that can happen mentality of the glass is always half empty, not half full, does not help you. Now, we can't control what happens. We can't control what we think, but we can control what we do about it. So thoughts will just pop in our head, right? We can't control all that. But what we can control is now, what do we do about it? And what I want to teach you is that when you have a thought that says, but what if, right? So let's just take a general thought. Well, what if when I'm going hiking, something bad will happen? Or what if when I go hang out with my friends, they make fun of me or something? Whatever your worst case scenario is, it could be anything. Oh, we're going to this restaurant. Well, what if I get sick while I'm at the restaurant? Or what if, I'm doing this presentation, I'm really excited about it, but what if I stumble, or I'm maybe doing this dance recital, and what if I trip? I used to have that when I was little. I'd be worried if I was in public and I had to go pick up an award or, my diploma, and I was so concerned. Well, what if I stumble? What if I trip? What if my feet stumble? That would be so embarrassing. So when you have a thought like that, you want to consciously and intentionally think of what if the possibilities. You're thinking of the worst case scenario, and then I want you to look at what is the best. What's the best thing that can happen? Focus on the thing that will be good with that. So if I'm going on a hike and I'm really excited about it, and then my overactive lifeguard is like, but there's snakes, there's coyotes, there's javelina, there really are. I live in the wild. Then my brain, I would have to purposely notice that that is what I call a red thought, a thought that's not helping me, a thought that grows my anxiety. And then I'm going to focus on the things that are good. And I'll focus on, it's so beautiful when I go up there. And when I get to the high part of the mountain, I can see the whole city and it's so gorgeous. And, if it makes me feel better to think I'll wear long socks and I'll wear sneakers, that's okay, right? So I can remind my little lifeguard, don't worry about it. I'm gonna wear long socks and I'm gonna wear jeans and I'll be fine. It's not a big deal. Or if I'm worried about a dance recital and I'm so excited about it, but then that little annoying lifeguard is like, but what if you trip? There's gonna be a whole audience out there. Well, I will say I've been practicing really well. And I'm gonna just focus on, I love when I'm moving with the rest of the company and it's so smooth, and I love when the music plays, and I love performing, and I love the costume I'm gonna wear. And so basically what I'm teaching you is not rocket science, but it's something that you're gonna have to practice a lot. And I think that's the hard part, is that a lot of times we become a victim to our thoughts and instead of being the driver of our thoughts. And so I want you to learn how to be in the driver's seat and not in the victim seat, and letting your anxiety be the driver. So when you have an anxious thought in general, but when you're thinking of what's the worst that can happen, I want you to focus and say, do I really want to sit there and let my lifeguard tell me all the bad things that can happen with something that I was looking forward to until he started talking and telling me all these bad things? Or do I want to purposely sit there for 5 minutes, close my eyes, and imagine how awesome and wonderful and cool it's going to be? That won't come naturally. You're going to have to force yourself to do it. But the neat thing is, the more you do this, the more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the quieter the hyperactive lifeguard gets, and the louder the excitement, gratitude, and joy builds in your body. So simple tip, but hard to actually do. Try it the next week and see how it works for you. And I hope that you find the sparkle in everything you do, and I'll talk to you again next Thursday. Take care.